Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Holly. I'm mum to two boys aged 5 and 7. On this channel we tend to do vlogs on everyday life with a child who has autism. I'm also hoping to post tips and tricks and other things like advice and things like that, starting with today's video really. I'll say right now, sorry if this video doesn't look like polished or anything. It's summer holidays, as you can tell. I'm up early already with the youngest. So yeah, I thought in today's video I talk about tips and tricks on how to plan on a holiday in the UK on a budget. Really, if you follow me on Instagram, or I might have mentioned in a couple of videos, we're planning a trip up to the capital of London. Just have a few days away really. I'm going to go away to London for a few days, and a bit like me, I find it quite daunting, just because obviously it's the first time we're actually going without having my mum and dad there, and I think I'm finding it quite daunting because obviously we're going away for a few days to London. So here are my tips on how to plan going away for a few days on a budget, and also how to plan obviously a holiday with a child who has autism. So tip number one is plan. If you're like me, I'm an absolute sticker for planning, and I like writing down on what we're going to be doing. So I'm actually printing off, and I'll insert here a little video. But I tend to write down things that we're going to do, but I've also got an itinerary that's colourful, and it's also quite visual for Daniel, because obviously where he's autistic, he likes things visual. So I find writing things down on what we're doing at what time and things like that, it's quite good for him. Obviously the itinerary I've done on the computer is only just showing some stuff of where we're going. So obviously, like, we're leaving to go to London at this time, this is where we're going at this time and that time. So he knows. Also, I think this might be tip number 2, is look for attractions that are free. Now, when I've had a look at planning this trip to London, I found a lot of these main attractions were costing a lot of money. Like, particularly for us, they were costing like anything between 80 to over 100 quid. Now obviously if you're planning a trip on a budget, or you don't have a budget, that is a massive chunk of our budget. And obviously we're going up to 2 to 3 attractions each day, so for us that is literally like nearly £200 just for 2 attractions a day. That would be near enough, because we're going for 3 days, £600 in 3 days. And obviously if you don't have that much money, or you're on a small budget, that is a lot. Some of the places we're going, I'll link below, but we're going to things like the Natural History Museum, Science Museum, and yeah. Tip number 3, if you are going to attractions that don't cost you any money, you will find you need to pre-book. Obviously, because of the whole COVID situation, a lot of these places now, you're having to book it in advance, including going to a restaurant. A friend, a work colleague of mine, was actually saying to me that they went up to London only to find that when they went to go and get something to eat, most of the restaurants, including like your usual fast food places, were fully booked or were chock-a-block. So if you do go and you want something to eat, do have a look. Do try and pre-book before you go. Tip number 4, have a look around for different prices on hotels. Now we're staying at a Premier Inn because we know we can book in advance, and you can do something called flexi, so you can pay, you don't have to pay right now, you can then pay as you go on that day. So if you need to cancel before, you haven't paid anything, you're not waiting for a refund, because waiting for refunds to come back can be an absolute hassle. Also, if you don't, we found with Premier Inn, you can actually book, as you're booking your hotel, you can book in already on your food. So with Premier Inn, if you've booked breakfast, your kids under a certain age eat free, and that's also including, I believe it's also including dinner. So if you don't fancy going out to a restaurant, but your hotel has a restaurant there already and you can pre-book the food, I would try and go with that option because it's cheaper. We actually found when we were looking, it was actually costing more money going out each night of the hotel rather than eating at a hotel, if that makes sense. With Premier Inn, you do get 3 different options. It's obviously, you can, if you know you're definitely going, you can pay there and then. You can have semi-flex or flexible. We tend to go with flexible. Just, it's a little bit more money, but it is just that if we also can't go that day, we can cancel on the day up to 1 PM. If you haven't got that much money, but you don't mind paying that little bit extra for the hotel. So tip number 5. Tip number 5 is packing. I'm literally just gonna swipe onto the next video clip of how I pack for trips away. Right, for our London trip, we've to be honest, now having laid it all out, it does look quite a lot. But what I tend to do is I like to literally lay out all the outfits to see what we need to take and what we're taking to everyone's piles. I am hoping to get some like packing cubes because I've seen quite a lot of people do it and it looks really quite good. But for me and Jim, I'm literally taking, for Jim, I'm taking 1 pair of shorts, 1 pair of trousers. Just because I find that we don't tend to get really dirty, and also with the UK weather, it changes quite rapidly. So I thought for Jim I'd take 1 pair of shorts, 1 pair of trousers, and 2 pairs of t-shirts, along with a hoodie and some pyjamas, obviously underwear. For me, I tend to switch up a little bit because I can be a bit funny. So also I'm taking 2 t-shirts, a pair of jeans, a pair of shorts and a dress. But I'm also taking a cardigan that will literally match all 3. And obviously a pair of pyjamas, and then obviously underwear on top of that. Now for the boys it's a little bit different because obviously because of their needs and they're still quite young, I'm literally taking 4 outfits for them. So just in case obviously they get one really dirty, we need to change them. So with them I am literally taking 2 pairs of trousers, 2 shorts, 1 hoodie and a pair of pyjamas. But I'm also taking 4 shirts and obviously loads and loads of underwear and socks, and the same with Daniel. Now because of the boys' needs, I tend to take with me a backpack. I always have one on me no matter where we're going, just in case I need it. Because of their needs, I've been using the buckle backpack from Cab Kidson. I do tend to get it when it's in the sale, just because obviously Cab Kidson is really well made, but I find it can be a little bit expensive. So if you want to get a Cab Kidson backpack, always wait for the sales because they always do come up, and they are the best backpacks I've ever had anyway, especially for going out. Quick demonstration. Also you've got a pocket, you've got 2 water bottle pockets. This is really bad
representation holly. Obviously you've got the big pack, you've got a zip on the inside here, two compartments here. This bit here, you'll see in a minute, I can hook my keys on. You've got a laptop compartment, or something to put your tablet in. And then on the back, you've also got a cover zip where you can put anything like important, just there, like your phone, key. You can be keys in here, but also like your wallet and things like that. So obviously when that's on your back, it's covered so no one can nab it basically. So what I tend to have in my backpack, and this is also for everyday use, I tend to do, bar a couple of things. So because obviously where Daniel's autistic and potentially Harry is, I'll always carry some fidget toys and ear defenders and wireless headphones. Because obviously because of COVID at the minute, I'll have some hand gel. I always used to carry this anyway, in case we go out somewhere and there's not cleaning facilities. Some masks, obviously my keys. I always carry spare underwear just in case of accidents. It's very rare that the boys do have accidents, but I always carry it just in case, along with some flushable toilet wipes. So obviously some bags, and I also have, I've always had this since Daniel was little, which was a reusable nappy bag. Always found this useful. Right, and also, because obviously we're going in the middle at the end of the summer holidays, I've got some sun cream with us. I normally use 30 factor 30. It's just recently with Harry's allergies I've had to use the Nivea 50, because this is the only one. Why is it not? Oh, that's because I have stuff in the background. With Harry's allergies, he keeps having these flares up of hives, and we can't work out what's going on at the minute. So obviously we've got that at the minute because that's the only one that's working for him. But also, last thing, I always carry around obviously medication. So obviously because Harry's asthmatic and has allergies, I've obviously got his spacer, his salbutamol inhaler, and obviously his Piriton in case he has flares. Obviously James's insulin as well. Now the other stuff that I will be taking is obviously Harry's other preventative medication, and obviously James has a sensor in his arm for his blood glucose, but I will be carrying his little glucose reader as well.
Tip number 6, and tip number 6 is for me, is travel. Now with obviously if you're going to London, I find that you could have quite a bit of an issue of getting into London because of congestion charges. Is also very busy. If you're not coming from far away, or if you're coming from like maybe a couple of hours away by train, I would go by train just purely because of it is literally a lot easier. We both don't have a car or driver at the minute, so we are going by train from our hometown, and I find, and also it coincides with the hotel, I find trying looking for a hotel near one of the train stations on the route into London is a lot easier, because obviously you don't have that too far to walk. Also getting around London, because obviously we've got 2 young kids, we're going to get the tube a lot. I would also, what we're going to do before we go is print off a tube map so we can see which train stations. I'm also going to plan on how to get to some of the attractions via tube, so we know which stations to go to at what time and things like that. And I think this might be tip number 7 now. If you don't, while you're up in London, if you don't want to keep spending out buying drinks in London, if you can, take a water bottle with you and have a look on where there are in the city on how to fill up your water bottle for free. As far as I'm aware, there's loads of refillable stations. So I don't know if you can tell, there are loads of refillable stations, and there is guides on where to find them as well. So we're going to take one of those. You can, if you don't have a phone to take with you, you can request online on how to get one as well. So that's quite easy if you don't want to be buying like tons of money on getting fizzy drinks or things like that. And tip number 8. This is my last tip. Like me, I tend to worry about how much we're going to spend on like gifts and like souvenirs and things like that. We're going to have a budget each day for each kid. Literally, when we're going to some of the attractions, we have only said to the boys they can have up to maximum £5 on a little souvenir from each place. Just because we know, both me and my partner know how expensive it can be. Obviously going up to London, and we've even said to the boys that they have £30 spending money for the whole time we're up there, because we're only there for a few days. So we said, right, we've both got 30 quid, but it's also at the same time we're going to try and teach them how to save money as well. So tip number 9, if you obviously a parent like me who's got a child with autism, one thing I tend to worry about is how they're going to cope going up to London. Now obviously with Daniel and potentially also Harry, because Harry might be autistic as well, one thing they don't like is loud noises. So what we're going to do is take their noise cancellation headphones or ear defenders, and I have them in a bag. I'm also going to take my rucksack with me that's going to have things like their fidget toys, things that are going to help calm them down. I think some places, and also a little comfort thing. One of my friends had crocheted a little like comfort square for them, which they both like, and they're going to take with them. And also, like at the beginning of this video, I showed you guys a colour visual inventory. Also, it's find places you want to visit that aren't going to be busy. So you've got things like museums. One of the museums we're going to go to is the Imperial War Museum and things like that. But also what we're going to try and do is go to some of these places that aren't going to be at busy times as well. Also some places offer early entry, because obviously if you've got a child with autism, having something like that is quite helpful, because obviously you can go and enjoy the attractions an hour before they open to the general public, and it's not going to be so loud or noisy as well. So yeah, that's all my tips and tricks on how to plan a trip or a holiday to London on a budget. And yeah, I hope you guys find this useful. Please comment down below if you want more videos like this, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.